people leaving the Los Angeles housing market and what's happening in the real estate market. Let's tap into this for 10 minutes, and then we're going to deep dive into it. Again, I appreciate everybody that support the platform. Also, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and then make sure you get your Teach Henley 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life.
Well, we know that making it in the Bay can be difficult. Now data shows that many are leaving the Golden State for cheaper places.
Today in the Bay's Bob Riddell joining us.
What the fuck is going on here? Y'all see this? They got a giant, it looked like they found a 6'9" guy and a 5'2" woman. That looks crazy, the disproportionate size that they are. He got to be at least 6'9". And then they found a 5'1", a 5 foot woman. Look at the proportions of that. That's Shaq and Muggsy Bogues. And then they made them stand next to each other. And she pregnant. Look at his head to the screen. He almost at the top of the screen. He's almost at the top of the screen, fam. Oh, that's pretty good.
That many are leaving the Golden State for cheaper places.
Today in the Bay's Bob Riddell joining us live from the East Bay this morning. This is with that important information about migration out of California.
Egger, I seen your show. I was looking at your show over the weekend. I was looking at it. Good show. Congratulations, bro. I was checking you out.
All right, Bob, break it down for us.
Yeah, good morning to Marcus and Laura. When you look at all the major metropolitan areas here in the United States and where people are moving in and where people are moving out, California has 7 cities/regions where people are moving out. You can take a look at this list that we're putting up on your television screen there. This is data compiled by the Pods Moving and Storage Company, and as you can see, Los Angeles has the highest number of move-outs nationwide. We here in the Bay Area are ranked 2nd, San Diego ranked 5th. And this is...
That's pretty crazy, bro. I never thought that in my life I would be having a conversation about how annually people are running away from California. I remember a time where it was big to go over to California, to run out to Los Angeles, to even get a job. Sometimes it was a lot of jobs. It was a lot of jobs in engineers, technology, everything related to like that. I remember I had got the invite to actually go out to California and get a job, and I said, no, it's a little bit too expensive out there. It didn't make sense. When I did the math, the cost of living, it just didn't make sense. The weather wasn't enough. I went and visited California a few times. The weather just wasn't enough. I couldn't make sense of it. I couldn't make sense of it. It's some people that move over to California and they say, oh man, I couldn't deal with the weather. You know, I couldn't deal with whatever it is. I couldn't deal with that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't deal with it, bro. I can't. The cost of living as a person that is incredibly, I would like to think that I'm really successful, right? I couldn't deal with the cost of living. Now we understand San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the sassiest places on earth. San Francisco was sassy way before Atlanta, so they got that crown. South Florida. A lot of people are leaving South Florida. What did I tell y'all about real estate in South Florida? What did I tell y'all about real estate in South Florida? What did I say years ago? Anton, man, I want to invest in this condo, bro. Anton, I want to invest in South Florida. Anton, I'm thinking about buying a condo. I said, don't do it. I said, I never tell y'all what to do. I never, ever tell people what to do. I just tell y'all what I think and how I think that things should go and whether or not things is going to play out a certain way. And I said, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to regret it. But no, man, I think that I've been living here all my life, man. I like it here, bro. It's awesome, blah, 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 blah. I said, don't do it. You are going to suffer. It is going to be bad. The market in South Florida is going to crash, especially if you are in a condo. If you are going to buy a condo in South Florida, anywhere in Florida, you are going to suffer. Don't do it. I told y'all.
This is what we saw last year as well. And the reasons why people are leaving California, they aren't a surprise.
All of those places is crazy.
The cost of living here, especially housing, is through the roof. Taxes are high. And people are concerned about natural disasters like wildfires, social issues like homelessness, and then, of course, the future of the economy. So where are people headed? Well, back east for sure.
Let's see. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Ocala, Florida. I don't even know what Ocala, Florida is. Raleigh, North Carolina, South Carolina, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Dallas is really sassy, too. I just want to let y'all know that. Let me pivot over here and see something really quickly.
So housing markets in the southeast and the west are seeing more and softer demand, leading to price reductions, whereas people in the northeast continue to tell me that they don't have enough inventory on the market and they're driven by higher income growth and limited supply.
For the first time in more than a decade, the number of U.S. home sellers now dramatically exceeds the number of buyers. That's according.
Remember when Kamala Harris, on her campaign, remember what they were selling us about real estate? I don't know if y'all remember. Does anybody remember what they were telling us about real estate? Kamala Harris? They say the way that they were going to relieve pressure and the way that they were going to solve for inflation and the cost of living was to what? Build 3 million new homes. I want to build 3 million new homes because we have a problem with the inventory levels in the United States of America. I said that to y'all again. I said, family, we don't have an inventory problem. We have an affordability crisis. There's a class war. The class war keeps y'all fighting and arguing about things that didn't mean anything in the first place. There's plenty of homes for sale. There was over 2 million homes for sale during the time that she was running during the election. We did not have an inventory problem. We have an affordability problem. It made no sense for them to take more tax dollars and spend it on garbage that we didn't need in the first place. Because we didn't have the problem that they say that we was having. We have an affordability crisis. So now you see in the housing market starting to suffer. And it's saying that we got 500,000 more sellers than buyers. We have 500,000. That's what the report's saying. We got 500,000 more sellers than buyers. Now, houses in certain areas. And what did I say? Hey, move to this area. Go and invest in this area. Go invest in this area. Houses in certain areas are selling. What do I tell y'all inside of the Patreon about the pricing of houses and what area y'all want to be in?
To a new report from Redfin, the shift in buying power could cause prices to fall. For more on the latest trends in the housing market, let's bring in real estate agent Kirsten Jordan. Kirsten, thanks for joining us this afternoon. You talk about where we were in the middle of the pandemic. It was a story about low inventory, low rates when it came to mortgages. We're in a lot different place now, aren't we?
It is so different right now, and it took us a minute to really adjust to these rates going up. And exactly what they're saying about the difference between what we're seeing in the South versus what we're seeing in the Northeast is that a lot of the insurance rates and in general what we call unsustainable price increases that were going on in the South, we're seeing those come down. And I think that's going to keep happening for a little while. Yeah, you had a huge swing of people who were clearing out of larger, colder cities, moving to the Sun Belt. Has that slowed down a bit now that you're seeing some of these prices fall? Is that an indication that that move has really occurred? We're seeing a really big change in this back to work movement, which I know we've been talking about now for years. If you think about it, though, when you're going back to work, or if you're in the early parts of your career, the 30s, the 40s, potentially you need to be in person to further your career and get where you want to be. And a lot of those places are in the Northeast. And then obviously there's the elephant in the room, which is the cost of insurance. And as we're seeing in Florida, especially for those affordable homes, those $300,000 to $600,000 under $1 million homes, the actual percentage of the home value and that they're dedicating to insurance costs is unsustainable for so many people, especially those people that are on fixed income.
There's so many different things that's feeding into the problems that we're going to be facing in the United States of America. It's so many things, so many problems, so many issues. Insurance crisis in Florida and over in California and different parts of the country. Affordability. To think that $300,000 to $600,000 is affordable is crazy, which means that if you can fill a gap, fill a need to make things more affordable, you'll have people that are loyal to you for the rest of your life. It's so many factors, but I think that the market is going to determine who the winners and the losers are. And what do I mean by that? That means that there are people that are leveraging, hedging their bets on being able to sell their home, taking the equity out of their home and all of that stuff. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think that that's simple. I think that unless you see interest rates come down, unless you see Jerome Powell lower interest rates, unless we stop printing money, until we make things more affordable while at the same time reducing spending, you're not going to see any change. You're just going to see it get worse and worse for a lot of people. And then a lot of people are still complaining. They're saying, oh, man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What's happening in the housing market? We can't afford nothing and all of this stuff. It's unsustainable. It is unsustainable. So I don't know. I don't see a correction yet, but I do see people leaving certain areas. It's crazy to just think that everybody is leaving California. Everybody is leaving Los Angeles at the same time. I know a lot of business owners that are leaving California, not even brick and mortar, but people that are investing in the real estate industry. They can't wait to sell their properties. Can't wait to sell their properties. I said, why y'all selling y'all properties? They said, because it's too hard to get people evicted. You know, it could take up to 2 to 3 years to get somebody evicted from your property once they stop paying rent. Not me, though.